Tropical delight, the flavor tasted right. Pure taste and pure delight. Orange, apple, cranberry, fruit punch, mango, yes sir. High in energy. Jumping up every day, and I jumping up every night. I think it's back and it's pure taste, pure delight. Energy to unload behind a truck down the road. The taste going to explode. Tropical delight, pure taste and pure delight.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show. This is your host, Leonard Gildarie. We're coming to you live from the Kaieteur radio studios here in Saffron Street, 24 Saffron Street, Charlestown. And you are tuned in to 99.1, and you're getting us here in Demerara and Esquibo. And if you're in Berbice, it's 99.5 FM. And if you don't want to tune into the radio, it's very, very simple. You go to, if you have a Facebook account, it's Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. Welcome once again to this edition of the Kaieteur Radio's Wake Up Guyana show. And it is a special day. It is a day 1 year before my little daughter turned, and of course I have to, because she's listening, I'm obligated to, or else I can't be threatened by anybody. But when the little daughter says, well, you know what you have to do, I have to pay attention, stand to attention, and make sure that I obey. And obey it is, because it's a 12th birthday today, 1 year more. I can't believe it. She was just a little toddler the other day that I was holding in my hands. Now she is almost 18. Almost 18, and a wonderful happy birthday to you, little girl, little baby. I don't know what to call you, but you're the boss, or one of the three bosses that I have in my life. Glenn is not the boss. He is a good friend and a father to me. So if you're listening, Mr. Lal, I want you to know, don't get jealous. It is. And of course, I don't have one father. I have many fathers. If you see the number of persons that have been calling right across this land of ours, overseas, and everybody is my brother, sister, father, mother. And you know, wherever you are, much love to you today. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. We're going to wake you up because there's so many good things is happening, good news is happening here today, that we are, as usual, going to share with you. And of course, many persons would have been calling us, thanking us for so many things. And we did say that we are going to make some people happy, and we did. And we have our own way of doing that, in our own little way, right across this land of ours. We don't talk about it because it's not all about the putting you under the spotlight or putting the people under the spotlight. It's about doing what we have to do, playing our little part in making this world a better place. Everybody could do that, whether it's a smile, a kind word, whether it's something that we could help with a meal, maybe something, a little Wi-Fi here and there. You do that. Make this world a better place. It's not all up to government to do that. So happy birthday, little Ciara, wherever you are at the moment, in the backyard or so. Daddy loves you. The family loves you. Mommy loves you. Brother loves you. And of course, the Guyana loves you. And they've been sending those messages this morning. And let's get down right into it. It is October the 7th, 2020. And what is it that you need to know? The last evening, the police would have refused bail to Roxanne Myers. And Roxanne Myers is no other than the chief elections officer, deputy chief elections officer. She would have gone to the Evil area after, this is a CID headquarters, where they are investigating. There's a big investigation going on to elections fraud after the March 2nd. They're accusing several members of the chief elections, the Guyana Elections Commission are playing a role. They would have arrested, placed on charges a number of officials, including Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield and others. And here you have Roxanne Myers. The police said they would have been searching for her. They would have been sending messages to her. She did turn up at the police station yesterday. The police held her in custody overnight. There would have been some objections to her being held, but the police has made it very clear. In a very short while, I'm going to read to you a statement what the police would have said. We could also tell you this radio program here has been reaching out to the government also. They're paying very close attention. And today I want to say thank you very much to Minister Susan Rodriguez. She's the minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water. A couple of residents would have asked for her to turn up in the Prospect area. I think this morning she went on what was described as a fact-finding mission. And so they are listening to us as we send out those messages and say, look, and we have a habit of tormenting our officials there. We did torment GT&T for a little while. Government would have been paying very close attention to the complaints, a growing number of complaints about the internet, especially with the pandemic, and you know what happens there. And so in the meantime, what we're going to tell you is that Minister Rodriguez turned up in the Prospect area there, and we are going to read to you in a very short while also what she would have been saying as to what exactly the people could reach out there. Persons did receive a call not too long ago, and one person says that the government has to pay attention. There seems to be an attempt to sabotage our water wells, lower the what they've been given in terms of how the wells are operating, and so they need to look at that. I'm not sure how much of that is truth, but it's something they said to mention it on here, that let us look into the operations of our water well. After this government went in, the performance of those water well went down. Could it have been, what is the reason for that? And so they did ask me to do that. In the meantime, cops from the West Demerara, they would have been stopping minibuses, making sure that they're not operating out of zone. A couple of charges laid there, one. And if you're overcrowded, if you're overloaded, or not in keeping with the social distancing measures, if you're fetching more than the allowed passengers, they would be charging you. And that has happened on the west coast of Demerara. I'm going to ask the commander of West Coast Demerara, Errol Watts, tomorrow to be on with us. In the meantime, within a few minutes, we would have gotten NIS, Diane Lewis Baxter, and she's going to be on with us in a very short while. We have already sent the invitation. We did have a conversation this morning, and she wants to come on and talk a little. She said it was a very busy month for NIS within the last couple of weeks as they celebrated an anniversary. Lots of activities there because they have to present the state of affairs to the staffers and so on, the stakeholders who would be looking at NIS, and that took their attention. But they back out fully once they engage Guyanese, and of course I'd want to talk about those numbers in which people could engage them. It's not Gildarie, it's NIS has to tell the people what is happening with their affairs there. So wherever you are, whether you're in a factory producing clothing, whether you're sewing, whether you're in a garden at the moment, whether you're cooking, whether you are a teacher, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're driving today, it's your job to do that. I want to say good day from the folks down at Kaieteur Radio, Raj and myself in the studio, Joshua and the rest of the folks there. Want to say good day to you. And of course, the good people of Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal and his team, enthusiastic set of characters there. And they want to say good day to you. Be safe. Make sure that you wear your mask and protect yourself. We're not going to stop telling you because it has to become a way of life. You have to play your role in Guyana to make things happen. In the meantime, there's a couple of people who are going to be calling you maybe to tell you that there's an opportunity for you to get to benefit from $100,000 land. Send some money via WhatsApp or by MMG or whatever the case is. If you receive a call like that, call the police. Do not give any money. Do not do anything on hand. The only set of people that are allowed to do anything with housing transactions, they're located along the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Ministry of Housing and Water, on Brick Dam. That's the only place that you should go transact any business. Anybody tell you that they have a run-ins, well, you have a lot of money to waste. Don't waste your money. Keep it. Be smart. Be like Gildarie. Don't part with the little money that you have. And the little money that I have is my salary, and I find it very hard to give it away or to you have so little money. What are you going to do with it? You're going to waste it? You're going to give it to a con man? Do not do that. Be smart. Hold on to your money. It is October the 7th, 2020, and it's Wednesday's edition of the Kaieteur newspaper today. And guess what? The largest newspaper is telling you a couple of things here. Apno FC giveaway of prime lands. Ford developer joins in returning property. And of course, we are going to read the story very, very quickly. You know, there were some lands that were given out, sold, they say, and then there were some irregularities that this government says. So these companies that would have benefited from these lands, some of them didn't even finish the transaction, received those lands. A number of companies would have returned those lands, including the principals of the Windsor Estate Development there. You would have seen Dr. Mahendra Karpin and this company, which has wanted a piece of land to do a specialty hospital in the Ogle area. This is the Ogle area we're talking about. Then there was another one wanted to do a Holiday Inn, I think it is, hotels, construction. So they've started returning. And this latest one here is American Marine Inc., which has returned 20 acres of the Ogle land. They said that, you know, that they have they want to continue to work with the government, and but they don't want this land here to be under any kind of controversy. So they're returning it with the hopes that they could get it back and under a regularized or a transaction that could be overseen in the proper manner. And so that is what it is. So as the world fights climate change, Exxon plans a massive increase in pollution, Bloomberg expose. And so, you know, we are paying attention that while they're taking out our oil from here, that all the necessary protections should be given to the people of Guyana. You don't want to be blamed. Guyana is the source of pollution around the globe, because you know when pollution happens, there's a rise in the sea level, there is things that you see happen in climate, hurricane, and a toxic environment and everything else that comes along with it. So you don't want to be accused of being the country that, you know, was behind this. And we should be telling Exxon, you know, make sure that you are towing the line when it comes to our environmental laws. And if you do anything against that, there will be heavy fines. We could even stop your operation. That's the kind of language that our authorities have to be saying to any investor that come to Guyana, be you in the oil or the gold or the bauxite, whatever it is that you come here, you have to abide by our laws. So let us get it very clear. This is our country. You have to put your foot down and be very, very clear. Be very, very strict when it comes to that. So in the meantime, while Raj, are you sleeping? Raj says he's not sleeping. So I'm not sure what is happening. Are we live on Facebook, Raj? Could you check it out? So Raj is checking that. In the meantime, government favors skilled transfers from Chile over commodities import. And so I'd have to read the story in a very short while. I didn't see that. As for planned corruption probe to be completed in 1 month, very important story there. We have an actual plan that is managed by the Demerara Harbour Bridge here, but there was some accusation of some wrongdoings. A number of contractors and others are saying that we would have been seeing some rackets where asphalt would be sold under the price where you would hit the market for. And so some contractors were able to compete unfairly against some others. If you're buying cheap wood to do your construction, then you would have an unfair competition. So the ministry would have heard or seen the stories, as Kaieteur News would have reported. Demerara Harbour Bridge would have come out with a statement and say, look, we're managing, but from our end, we are above board. So they have put together a specialist team. This is Minister Juan Edgel of the Ministry of Public Works, and they move pretty quickly. You know, what I like about this government is that they're moving very quickly on some of the issues that are being raised, and they're not allowing it to slip by. As soon as they hear something, so we are going to launch an investigation, and they're very serious about it. Heads are going to roll because the procedures are not being followed. Let's see how that goes. GCOM Deputy CEO, Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers arrested for obstruction of justice. I understand she's still being questioned, and I'm not sure whether she's been released. She was accused of, you know, having a leadway of putting persons out from the Ashman's building there on High Street, where the Region 4 office of the Guyana Elections Commission, the district office was, and where Clement Mingo would have been headquartered. And so while they were counting, she was there putting out people and things like that, caught on video. So here it is that she's been arrested for her role or a possible role in the elections rigging as well is being described by the government of the day. And so they've launched an investigation to see a criminal investigation to see what kind of fraud would have been taken. Several charges would have been laid against some senior officials, including Keith Lowenfield and, of course, Mr. Mingo. Beware of scammers pretend to sell house lots for 100,000. And we did talk about this. Somebody pretending that they are representing the First Lady, Ari Ali. And so if you hear something like that, run fire, do not think, do not part with your money, be smart. Captured fugitive charged in 2015 murder of taxi driver. Well, that's an interesting story as well. At least we solving these issues. You can't believe you run from the long arm of the law. Digital e-networks welcome liberalization of telecoms sector. I did see a statement here yesterday from the minister, from GT&T, and GT&T is pulling out all stops to give the people the service they have not been provided. Shame on you. But let's see what happens. The more the merrier. I want you to up your service, GT&T. There would have been no love lost between me, myself, and yourself over the last couple of months. That's because we represent the people in Guyana, and what you've been doing is not good enough. You need to get your act together, and you have the infrastructure in place. So we want these people to be operating. We want to all Guyana to benefit. And so you should take the opportunity. You have infrastructure in place, and others that are going to come on board, they're going to compete with you. But you should have done this a long time ago, so the people would not have been complaining like this now. You've been with us a long time. You should have taken the opportunity there, or the opportunities, to make sure that you are on the good side of the people. What you did is took advantage, serious advantage of the people. And that's not something we're likely to forget anytime soon. But if you come with a good service, we are going to welcome you. Hess sells out lucrative Gulf of Mexico oil field for Guyana. And this shows you very, very clearly that oil companies are looking more and more to Guyana, especially with the ones already involved, because it is cheap oil, it is good oil, meaning it doesn't take a lot of processing and you're making a tremendous amount of profit. So they're selling out like crazy to concentrate here. We should have a good deal out of all of this that is happening. We have something good in our backyards, and our authorities have to be paying very close attention to that. Instead of putting us on the front line, foreigners throwing us on the bread line. And again, this is a very serious message on the front page comment of Kaieteur news here, leading the way of ensuring that Guyanese are educated, made aware of what you have and the powers that you have. And that when you see people come in and we welcome investors. We cannot do without investors. However, when you come here, there are rules and regulations. If you go to the United States of America, if you go to some other places, the first thing, if you go to the Europe and so on, the first thing that they ask you or make sure that you understand is that there are rules and regulations, and you have to toe those lines. When they make a deal with you, make sure that you do something about it, that you are adhering to those agreements, because they are going to be inspectors and people monitoring you, and when they find that you're lapsing, they are going to slap you with fines, with sanctions, and so on. And so this story here is telling us about the foreigners who are coming here. You know, we need a better deal than this. You give us a good deal, and that you should not, when you leave here, we should be in a better position. Gary Best, dangerous driving trial commenced. A former army chief here would have been charged with hitting down a cyclist, killing him on the spot, and he would have been in big trouble placed before the court. And so his case has started there. In the meantime, you could see Kaieteur News. There's an ad here in the newspapers. Politicians stop the bull. It is not what you don't know who the Kaieteur Kantibak owners are. It is that you have something to hide. So, you know, they have been asked to get themselves in order there, make sure that they pay attention. Pay attention, you know, the spotlight is on you as the regulators. Digital e-networks welcome liberalization of the telecom sector. I'm glad to see that competition, these companies here, they're taking the bull by the horns, and they're saying, we're ready to deal with the liberalization. Now, what is liberalization really that we're talking about? These companies here, there are many services that could be offered, and I'm telling you, it's not so much landlines. When you have internet, you can make calls. It's so very easy to go onto Facebook or to WhatsApp or something and do video calls. Zoom something. So when you have all of this, they put that into place. It lowers your cost of doing business, because if you're here, you don't need an international line or so to be making call overseas. You could do video with the people right there. It puts your business in the backyard of China, in the backyard of Japan, wherever that you're doing business with, right away with the people up close and personal. So you don't need to travel to India to be talking to some of the people that you're doing business. You could be talking to them online, and you have banking measures there that you could be making payments, and you could be right in Guyana and not lift a finger to put yourself on a plane. So many things you could do. You could be in the hinterlands and you get a snake bite, and somebody could tell you, a doctor could be talking to you online on video there and telling you what you need to do to treat yourself in the meantime while you get a plane to fly out. And so these are the things that when you have technology, fast internet, and so on, the capacity to do those things, it allows you to do education. It allows you to do so many things online. So let us get that right. So it is. We heading on to almost 1:30. Do we have NIS online there? As soon, I'm going to ask Raj to get the NIS link up as soon as they're online, because we need to talk to them, and we need to see what is happening. So it is CARICOM General Insurance, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. And I want to say good day to all those folks who are celebrating their birthdays today, wherever you are. And if you are seated in your vehicles, in your home, whatever it is that you're doing, have a good day. Make sure that you protect yourself. Make sure that you're eating right. Make sure that you exercise. Ease the unhealthy lifestyle. Eat a lot of vegetables. Eat a lot of fish. Keep away too much meat. Do not do anything. And I know a lot of people are struggling making it from day to day. Whatever it is that they could put their hands on, they are going to be eating that. And so I understand that very, very clearly. And the farmers who are working hard, I saw that they are very good. There is a very good rice crop. I think there's some good money that they're making this year. So we are going to continue to pay attention based on the rice that we're seeing. It is a good crop, and that would have been one of the things that is of good news to Guyana for this year. A good thing, there's also good news, is the gold price is over $1,900, I think, the last time that I checked. And so you want those kind of prices, especially when everything would have been down. The bad thing about it is that when people hear gold prices are that high, they rush into your area to do to mine. You're going to have a lot of illegal cases there. You're going to have people who are going to be doing all kinds of things. And so your border areas are going to be under pressure. And of course, with pandemic on us right now, you would have been seeing the rise in the numbers. We are going to be touching 100, God forbids, in the number of deaths in a very short while. And these things worry me deeply. We cannot continue. We cannot continue in this phase here. So I want to say good day to the taxi drivers. This morning I did receive a call that the persons are worried about the Caribbean Airlines and whether they are going to be coming back to Guyana anytime soon. The Caribbean Airlines would have sent home almost more than 50% of the staffers, and so we are reopening our airport in a very short while, in a very controlled manner, because before you could come to Guyana or leave, of course, you'd have to do your test and so on. What is important? Is that Caribbean Airlines is one of the main operators at the airport there. So if you lay those workers off, or what's going to happen with those flights? The good thing about it is that Guyana is one of the biggest destinations, or one of the biggest operations point for Caribbean Airlines. So I'm not too bothered by that, but we're going to continue to bring those information as we get it here. I think it's around the 11th or the 12th. There's supposed to be some decisions taken by the reopening of the airport. The government has says that in the meantime they are making preparation for a phased kind of open, and already they have relaxed some of the measures. When there was a time when there were no flights, then they relaxed that to allow the cargo and whatever else it is to come in as normal, and then some repatriation flight turned from Guyana. Now we move into commercial flight, but in a very controlled manner. Of course, there's going to be deep worry with regards to how could we control when we're not controlling it at the moment, where the person are going to come from. And I think the authorities are saying not doing so is going to have a double impact on us with the economy and so on. So they are releasing some joint services members here to do some more patrols and so on. In the meantime, the police are not doing enough. Some places they are doing it, but in a lot of areas there's still a lot of many persons are not adhering to those COVID-19 measures. Do we have the lady online? So we don't have NIS at the moment. We are waiting. When she comes on, I think we would know. But I did send her the invitation after she would have reached out to us. It is 6222222. That is the number that I want you to get on to us. Send us your messages and so on. 2267453 in a very short while. Within a couple of minutes, we are going to open the lines and let us hear from you in wherever you are. Well, what I could tell you that I'm very happy that Susan Rodriguez, Minister of Housing and Water, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, would have been listening to you guys when you send us those messages, and we send it to the people. I would have been sending the messages to her and the other ministers, and I know that they're paying attention because they're acting on it, and it is our job to torment them. And the good thing about it also is that they're listening. So she went to Prospect after somebody reached out to the Wake Up Guyana show, and she was there this morning. Somebody talking about brown sugar, Bibi Shabira Hussein talking about brown sugar, Guyana brown sugar. We have, I think, we have some of the best sugar in the world, Demerara sugar, and it is a good thing. We should be proud of what we have. We have some of the best bauxite in the world. We have some of the best gold. When you talk about the Demerara gold, Guyana gold, it is one of the best in the world. Beautiful gold. When you're talking about the oil, we have the best oil. Why are we not benefiting from this? We have to start waking up, because it's a Wake Up Guyana show. Do we have a caller online there, Raj? Yes, there's a caller already. We have our people. We missed that one there. 6222222. Want you to send those messages early. Let us hear what is bothering you. 2267453. 2267453. Call us and let us hear. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you are tuned in to the Kaieteur radio. There's a caller online. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you today?
Yes, pretty good. Pretty happy. How are you doing?
Kaieteur, right?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
I'm calling from the LCQ course at Gildarie. Hi, sir, I just called to make a report about this light bill. My light bill is from $4,000, now it's $8,000. Yesterday I went into Regina. It has got to reach the gate person before you go in, and you got 4 women sit down in the little hut. Oh gosh, then treat you like a dog. How they say you tell you certain things when you're supposed to tell you. You go for clarify a bill, explain and tell people you cannot go in there. So why then put so much money on the bill to people pay? And so this is the next thing. I want to know, government people don't work on a Sunday. Why before we get this bill, meter man read meter on Sunday? Why meter man does read meter on a Sunday? And the next day my cousin went to Saudi hospital. Oh gosh, it's APNUAFC nurse and doctor treat you. If you hear straight, oh God, they don't want to see you. But if you hear twist, they want to see you. And my grandmother went in a Regina to get a farm. She is 64 years. She says she's not able to walk. She got just to get a farm for a public assistant. The people then treat you like a dog. That's it. Talk to a dog on the road and how they treat you. There is not a way somebody supposed to come and help you and clarify this matter and but people going to come out and protest for this light. Everybody crying out for this light thing. I don't know if the person who read the meter don't know who read or whatsoever. Everybody light bill come high. But I won't pay $8,000. I will collect my light bill, what I paid the last month, and go and pay them the $4,000. So I will do that because everybody in a garage, everybody in a rate, everybody fortunate in LCQ. You got poor people in LCQ. But you even got the proper fridge. You even got the energy saving bulb and then taxing you so high. How you think people going to make up 20 body stuff in an LCQ food? That is my company calling to tell you this one today.
All
Then.
right.
Yes?
Well, all right. I know what to do there. I'm gonna have to get GPL on this program here. I'm gonna reach out to the PRO and whoever they want to send, let them send. All right.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
cooperation.
Thank you very much. And a good day to all the folks down there on the Essequibo coast, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're in a boat heading across, make sure you wear your seatbelts, make sure that you're wearing your mask, and keep your social distancing. Do not allow them, hire car drivers, minibus drivers, make sure that you don't overcharge those people there. Many times people are complaining. In any case, what we're going to do here, a couple of things. We're going to ask GPL to come on board. I did not invite them. I think I did reach out to them. I'm going to ask Chevion Sears, who's the public relations officer, to make some arrangement where we could get the folks onto the air here, and then they could probably tell us where people could go complain. Maybe you don't need to go into a GPL office, but you could call there, because these are things you need to do in this day and age. With when we're practicing social distancing, you don't need to travel. But what you could do, I think they should have a line there. If somebody, I mean, these are old people, these are poor people, they can't come in. I think they should have enough money that they could have a customer service, that they could probably call back somebody, or if you're online, that you could probably do some video chatting and so on. Whatever it is that you need to do, it needs to be better than what is happening here now. You don't need to see the person coming in there, but you need to start listening to the people. You have to provide a service. So let us see whether they would be willing to do that. I'm going to have to invite them and let them come. In the meantime, the folks online listening to us here, they're saying that we have the best of everything. We have good price for brown sugar, rum, gold, etc. Let me tell you this: we have the best fish, we have the best rice, we have the best jamun, we have the best banana, and maybe you guys could continue with the rest there. But we have the best of everything in this wonderful land of ours. We have the best shrimp, we have the best fishing, right? You have the best fishing. What else do you do, Raj, other than working? Do you enjoy this land? Have you ever planted anything in your life? Yes, Raj says he planted. I'm not sure whether he planted back in India or he planted here. You planted here? Yes. So we have Diane Lewis Baxter here online. Diane, you there? You hear me? Let me see if in the meantime, while we get an order there. Let me read to you. There is a statement coming out here from the Guyana Revenue Authority, and let me see what I could do here. Diane, you online? You hear me?
Hi, how are you doing?
All right, pretty good. It's been a little while. Did you come with good tidings to the good people of Guyana?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good. Did you
Can you
come
hear
with?
me?
Yes, very good, very good, very clear. I can't see you. I'm not sure where you are. I think Raj has to do something there. But in the meantime, welcome once again
I'm
to to the Wake Up Guyana show, and it says Diane Lewis Baxter. As normal, we would say we try to get on to. I know you've been busy, and you told me that you've been very busy with the celebration. Sorry, the observances of the anniversary, the annual anniversary of NIS, a very important event in the calendar of things there for the NIS. So Diane Lewis Baxter, the public relation officer of the National Insurance Scheme, you have a very important organization there. What good tidings have you brought to us today, Diane? I'm not sure. You have it muted here. We're not hearing you.
no, I'm hearing you though. You're not hearing me at all?
Yes, I'm hearing you. So you go right ahead. What is happening with NIS there? I did get a number from your GM. That's 6400 639. Have the people been complaining to that number?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Go right ahead. So the guys have been complaining here. I'm not sure if you've been receiving the complaints, but we have given a number to the people of Guyana: 6400 639 6400 639, and that number there is where you could, if you have some concerns, you've been listening to the show. That's a number that was provided that you could call direct or text
Number.
directly.
Repeat the number.
6400 639.
Yes, uh-huh.
That's the number there. Okay, so what's happening
Yes.
now at NIS? Have you seen some? Have you been doing a lot of stuff? Has there been an increase? What could you tell the people today before we move on and maybe take some calls?
Well, the first thing is very hectic at NIS.
Yes.
Every single day. It's really, really hectic. The crowds are not, I don't know, but it's very hectic here. We notice a very high increase in the number of persons seeking to access coupons for spectacles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the daily thing that is causing a lot of persons to be at NIS. Apart from that, the pensioners still continue to come to uplift their pensions, and we've been pushing for persons to have their pensions sent to their bank account because we're still with this pandemic, and so it's a concern to the scheme. The number of persons that are coming here every day, but we're still trying to see how best we can cope with the crowds.
I thank you very much for that, Diane. One of the things that the people have been suggesting that you guys could do, and I'm not sure, I'm about to suggest this to GPL because a lot of persons would have been complaining. We want to practice social
Mhm.
distancing, and maybe this is something you could discuss with your management. You want to practice social
Mhm.
distancing and you want to reduce the crowds down there. But the problem is for many persons, they have a phone line or they may have a cell phone. But when they call, the
Mhm.
credit would run out and things like that. GPL seems a little better with in terms of the money, and it doesn't take in terms of customer service. I'm suggesting, and people have been suggesting that maybe if there is some way, if somebody can't afford to call, or they would call very quickly, could you call me back on this number here? I have an issue.
As
Could NIS consider something like that? We're talking about poor people here.
we do that, we have access to make cell phone calls.
Very good.
Right? So yes, we do call back person. And most times we don't even wait for them to call us back. We would try once the person call, we would say, I would say you calling from a cell, okay, you hang up and we call you back. But we do have that system in place.
Very good, and I think that's a start because what you would want to do is reduce the numbers that are there, and maybe what you're saying also, while you may have one person with a 6400 number, so is there maybe they could have a complaints department? How does a complaint department work for somebody who doesn't know?
Okay, well, we have a customer service department, a unit rather downstairs here at Breakdown. At the offices, we have a desk, so it's a one person on the Afang offices that would receive the whatever the queries are, and then they try to forward it to the different sections so that the action, can be taken. But in Georgetown, it's three persons at the breakdown location on the ground floor, and then you have persons that are at records on the live chat and so on, where we also receive complaints and queries.
And I know you would have been doing a couple of things, which is like the online that the some work from companies and so could be done directly online and so on. Like you could
But I know
submit.
everybody wouldn't have access to that,
Right,
so
right,
we
right.
still have physical, right.
Well,
We have
let's
the other
see. Uh,
sorry, the other situation where persons call as well on the telephone. But remember too, we have limited telephones and we're servicing the entire Guyana. It's a tall order.
right, right.
It's a tall order. I know persons we've been asking persons to be a little more patient with us because it's a situation now where more persons are seeking to call us via the telephone
hmm
as against, you come in, but you have a lot of persons also calling. People are coming, but you also have a lot of persons that are calling, and that's a problem because sometimes when you call it might be busy because somebody else is on the line and you have to keep calling more than once to get through and that sort of thing. Yeah, but it's a challenge with it during this time.
Yeah, because what the people are saying, if maybe there's some other numbers, like how I think the GM would have given us 6400 639 number, that maybe there could be some other
Hmm.
numbers. And I know that you guys are working very hard to see how you could deal with this because the pandemic has, of course, thrown in some more challenges into this entire scenario.
Yeah.
But would you? We want to go to the lines. Those persons who has NIS or who have NIS queries, maybe we could go straight to them. Would you allow us to do that and maybe take some calls? All right.
Yes, definitely. No
Yeah.
problem at all.
Thank you very much. And so it is 226-7453. I want you to call that number right now because we have NIS, the Public Relations Officer, Diane Lewis Baxter in the house here, and she is going to be taking some calls. Let's go specifically to the NIS, and afterwards we could deal with some other issues when I know she's busy, so after she leaves, we could do the necessary with the other issues. So there's a call online right away. Yes, good afternoon, caller. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a problem with NIS.
Yes.
My problem is that my brother is overseas and he applied for an authorization for me to uplift his pension since last year's July.
Yes, go right ahead.
July 29, last year, 2019. And when I go there, they always tell me it is not ready, not ready. And he didn't uplift pensions from April last year. I spoke to
Mr. Peace, I was.
Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Mr. Peace just now. Could you repeat that? I got knocked off just now for a brief.
Yes, so I spoke to one. I always met with Miss Blue, and she told me the authorization is not ready yet. So I don't know from last year, the 29th of July, to now. We didn't collect any pension as yet for my brother. He's overseas. I don't know.
Have the NIS number.
The NIS number?
I can get somebody to check it right now.
Okay, his NIS number is B9099425.
425. Gildarie, would you want to take her number offline so that we can call her back? I have somebody checking it right now, but just allow others to call. We'll check it right away, and then I'll have my staff call her back.
Could we do that?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right, 1 second. And she's going to call you back. Hello? Yes, I think I got a number there, Miss Diane, and so I'm sending it to you there. In the meantime, let us go. So it's 226-7453. Just bear with me. I'm doing everything here as I can, and so I send the number there to Diane. I send the number there to you. So in the meantime, you are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show, and we have the Public Relations Officer, Diane Lewis Baxter, here on Kaieteur Radio, and we're taking calls with regards to your concerns over NIS and other issues that you may have. What you could also do is after the show also, you could continue calling because there is a number that has been provided by NIS, 6400 or 6400-639, 640-639. So I think there's another caller online. Yes, good afternoon, caller. Go right ahead.
I am on the program.
Yes, you are, and you are on air. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk about my NIS. I was born on the 5th of October 1961.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I reached 60 years or I've done 60 years or what.
Go right ahead, Diane.
So you want to you have applied for your pension?
Yes, I have applied for the pension already. But they tell me they will call me, they never call me back.
How long did you apply?
Till next year.
I applied since last year.
Since last year, but at last year you didn't reach 60 yet. How does that work, Diane?
Reach 60 would have. No, he has to apply 3 months before he turns 60.
No, well, I
He's
paid.
born when? 19 when?
1961, the 5th of October.
Born 1961.
Did it?
One, right?
1961. The 5th of October, 1961. So does that make him 60?
Yes. No, until next year.
You have until next year. You haven't reached 60.
Next year.
You have to finish the 60.
Next year, October.
Yes, and you applied 3 months before you reach that 60 years. So you're talking there, let me see, September, that's about June, right?
Yeah.
Next year, June is when you apply. But what would have
Yes.
happened to his application that would have
Right.
been
He
already
said
been
he
made?
already.
Yes, he said he applied.
If he has it, if it should be in the system. So, what can happen? If he can give me his number, if he can give me a phone number, and I can always get the NIS number and all the information from him, and we can check on it and have them hold it.
All right. Do you want to give us that number, sir? Hello?
Yeah, my number is 270
Uh-huh.
6927.
All right, no problem. I'm going to give it. Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
I got
thank you.
that.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Okay. All right. So in the meantime, it is the Wake Up Guyana show. We're dealing with NIS issues today, and Ms. Diane Bax has been very kind. Louis Bax has been very kind as the public relations officer of the National Insurance Scheme to be with us here today to listen to some of the queries, some of the complaints, and maybe deal with it right away because we are doing that at the moment. So I think there's another caller online. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Gildarie
Good
and
afternoon.
Ms. Lewis. How are
Yes.
you guys doing this afternoon?
Pretty good, pretty good. Go right ahead.
Here's what I was a nurse for 8 years and I resigned because I got married and I now reside overseas. However, my contribution is about 530. My problem is I want to know if I can continue to pay my contribution as a self-employed or if I can pay it just like that so I can reach my 750 so at the end I can be able to have my NIS benefit. I need some information. How do I go about to complete my contribution?
Good question. Go ahead,
Okay, do
Miss.
you have a business?
No, I don't have a business.
She said she's
And
living
then,
overseas.
she's overseas.
Yes. That's what you said, right? That you live
Uh-huh.
in
Yes,
overseas.
yes. I resigned as a nurse and I now reside here, but I want to know if I can continue to pay, if there's a way that I can continue to pay.
How long have you stopped paying?
Only last year, April.
Oh, a year has passed because in order for you to register as a voluntary contributor, you would have had to do so within a year after you stopped working.
So then the obvious question: what happens to her contribution in the meantime? What is she eligible for?
Contributions would be there, but as it is right now, if she only has 500 or something when she reaches 60, it would only be a grant. It is a one payment.
Mm-hmm. So you heard
But
that, ma'am?
residing where in the
Yes,
states,
dear,
or
yes.
where is she residing now in the Caribbean or states?
You heard that
Canada.
question, ma'am? In the states that you reside in?
Hello?
No, in Canada.
In Canada, Diane.
No, because I was thinking if it's the Caribbean, once you work there, we have the margin of the contributions,
Right,
where she would have
right,
been able to get the contribution she paid over there.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, I
but the
understand.
thing,
right.
no, she
So
won't be
so
able
so
to
I
pay
think
at this point in
uh,
time because
I think what you're saying there, Diane, is that the statute, the time that would have elapsed for her to, even if there's a possibility for her
yes,
to have a local business or something, and she could have been able to pay it via that, the time would have elapsed. So I think what she's saying there, what Diane is saying there, is that all you're entitled to right now is a grant, a one-time payment.
Okay, thank
That
you.
that's it. That answers the
Thank
question,
you so
right?
much.
Thank you very
Right,
much,
have a
ma'am.
nice day.
God bless you. Bye bye. All right. So it is the Wake Up Guyana show, and we have Diane Lewis Bax, the public relations officer of the National Insurance Scheme here on Kaieteur Radio, and we discussing issues with regards to NIS, and maybe there's some other things that we could talk about. But Diane is here. Thank you very much for that, Diane. Any comments you want to make before we head to the lines again?
waiting for that. I want to encourage persons who are residing overseas to ensure that they use the consulate if they're sending scanned life certificates because that's the only way we accept it. We notice again in our mailbox it's very filled with life certificates that were scanned by Notary Publics. We are not receiving those
You're
because we
not
were
processing
advised
that, you
the number
mean?
of persons who have died and so on. No, we needed to consulate. The only way we're accepting it from the Notary Public is if it's the original. And so
Mm-hmm.
they have to go through the Guyana consulate in whichever country they're residing in. And it's easy. They facilitate the call, they do everything, and they scan it to NIS. right? The same person who's operating the number that our GM gave you, she also receives the life certificates and ensure that they're processed. So we
Very
want
good.
to advise them to do that because we have to be writing to say, sorry, we're not accepting it like this. So if we can get that information out, we'd really, really appreciate that.
I thank you very much for that. And so there you have it. If you're living overseas, use the consulate. The consulate is the only one who could scan copies and send it to NIS. If you have the originals, then the notary public would work. But if you're scanning, the notary public is not going to be working there. I think that's how I understand that. Diane has been saying it. So it's a Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, and we are going to head to the lines once again. We're discussing NIS. So yes, good afternoon, caller, you in the air.
The Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur.
Could you lower the volume of your radio, please, right away? Thank you.
Leonard,
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Mr. Pasade boy.
Mr. Prasad.
The NIS, as I told you that the NIS have the $1 billion contribution account. And these people that for Gaisuko, as Mr. Baxter is there, you could ask for that when you get the employment letter, the years that you missed out, where you collect your update of the NIS, that certain years are being missed now from Gaisuko if you employee there. That if you get a letter of employment stating that you are employed such as years with Gaisuko, if they can use that suspend account to the NIS outstanding, so to give you an average so that you don't lose out because you was working and paid a contribution, that if you had the stamping where you just put the stamp on the card. You understand? So that they could use a journal, transfer it from the suspense account to the cash account and pay the people less. That got to be done by the board of directors. Because when Roger Lancet was there, he said so, as the chairman for the board of directors.
Ms. Diane, I'm not sure how to answer that. That's out of my league.
No, well, the NIS representative got
he's
to answer
talking
that. Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, he's talking about persons who have missing contributions, and the employer would usually give them a letter stating a letter which is your record of service showing that you worked with the employer. But there is still a verification process that we would usually go through. The inspectors usually assist us with that. And so they would go back to the employer to do the verification to ensure that the contributions that are there, because we had issues in the past where you find persons may have had similar numbers, similar names, and we are still, even though we've gone through a lot of it and we've worked a lot of those out, we still have some of those that are outstanding where you have people with same names and contributions that were not sorted. And so that's what he's talking about.
Yes, okay. If that baby say that is correct, you're going to do a verification. And for the public at large, if let's say you're making your 60th birthday today, but a month before you apply for your pension, and by the time 2 months after that you get your pension. So with that NIS, I can give them credit, and it happens to be. So I begin up NIS there. Especially if your record is up to date, but you get a printout every month or every quarter or whatever the case may be, you don't know what your contribution would be. Within a month before your 60th birthday, you apply for your NIS. Within 2 months after that, you get your NIS. All right?
Thank you
so
very much.
big up to Ms. Box today for that.
Thank you very much. That answers the question, sir?
Yes.
Yes. You're in order. Yes, and what he was talking there also, we have what we've implemented, a program called Pension Readiness Program. And this is something that we do. We go around to different areas. We send out letters when we see persons approaching a certain age and so on to tell you this is the contributions we have. We go out to ministries, agencies. We talk to their employees who are 55 years and older, and we check their contributions. We ask them to ensure that their validated NIS, that it's accurate, so that when that time comes, they would not have the problem. And that's why we've also been encouraging persons to check their contributions online. When they do that, they can also send a ticket if there's any discrepancy.
Thank you very much, dear. Sorry, you all right there? So I think that's it. I thank you very much for that. I think that caller did contact us sometime before, raising that issue with some $1 billion account there, and I wasn't so very sure what it was, but I'm glad that that's being addressed. He seems very happy. Thank you very much. And so if you're now joining us, it is the Wake Up Guyana show, and we have the Public Relations Officer of the National Insurance Scheme, and no other than Diane Lewis Baxter, and we're answering questions, queries with regards to the NIS today. I think there's another caller online. Let's go right ahead. Caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kaieteur.
Yes, you are on air. Go right ahead.
I got NIS for the NIS.
Yes.
I sent my claims in February, and up to now I hear nothing. NIS number is B49.
Hold a second, sir. Go very slowly.
B49666149.
You got that, Diane?
Huh?
49666149.
Yeah.
B49666149.
Yes. Ramtaha.
And what is your first name?
David and Ramtaha.
What are you checking on? What type of benefit?
I was in hospital in Woodland.
Or you were hospitalized?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear. Let's see. I have the girls checking to see. Would you want to give us your number so we can call you back? Just allow somebody else to call. The girls are checking it right now, but they will call you back as soon as they get the information. If you would provide that telephone number for us now.
Yeah, 222-5345.
222-4345.
Yeah. Since February, standing.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
We'll check it. The girls will check it. If somebody's already, we'll call you back. Look this picture.
Thank you very much, dear. So that's the end of a call there. And so what we see in here is that there's a lot of late. Is there any idea that you could give to the people some of the challenges that NIS is facing with regards to some of those backlogs or so, if for the want of a better word, Diane?
We were talking about that because we have the drop boxes, and we've asked persons to place because of the pandemic, persons aren't coming into the building now, and so we've asked them to utilize the drop boxes, but we find many of the documents are coming in incompleted, and persons are not stating contact information, right? So they either need to state a telephone number or an email address so that we can get back to them. And so what we have done, and remember there was a time when the postal system wasn't really working. So
right.
We have some of those claims. Those that we had numbers for, we called. Those that we did not have numbers for, we've started posting out because the postal system is up and running again. And so what we've been saying to persons, if you've submitted a claim to NIS and you notice that a particular time has elapsed and you have not heard from us, that you can either call or you can drop us a line. Right, you can go on the live chat. On the live chat, say submitted a claim. This is my NIS number. This is my name, and this is the date I submitted it, so that somebody can trace it for them. Because usually, once those things come through on the live chat, it's channeled to the different departments for action.
Thank you very much for that. And so you guys would have to forgive me if I'm missing a couple of these things. I'm not too familiar with the all NIS system. So that's why we have Diane, the expert here. And so if you see me using one, two wrong terms, you got to forgive me for that. So thank you very much for that, Diane. Do we head back to the line again, take another call? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air.
Leonard. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. Do you have the radio on, or does it? I'm hearing some noise. Good.
Giving us feedback.
Yes.
Yes, brother.
Yes, go right ahead.
I'd like to know if you could just get someone from the GRE. I have a little problem with my tax, so that's a little problem. If you could just have someone there But thanks so much, my brother. You do some a wonderful job. Keep it up, and we're really happy for
We can bring them next week. I have some plans with a couple of them next week. I'm supposed to be on leave right now, but they asked me to come out. I can't leave it just like that. But I'm going to bring a couple of people, police, GRA, NIS. Everybody's going to come on, and we're going to deal with them one by
Yeah,
one.
brother. Because I have a little problem with my tax. Yeah, thanks so much.
No problem, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much. There are many different issues here, from local government to GRA to NIS. We're going to try to answer them as we, or try to have some of those big issues addressed, because there's some simple things that we could do as a people in Guyana, like what Diane was saying, that there are procedures that, when you put in these applications and the complaints and so on in there, that you have your telephone numbers and your address and so on. So if there's a question or maybe something that was not filled out properly, that NIS could get back to you. So we need to be very clear, let's make it simple for them too. And also we must understand too that a pandemic with the post offices and so on would have provided a challenge, and this is not only with Guyana but all over the world. The globe is battling with these bureaucracy and these kind of things that would have occurred over the last couple of months, since March or so, thereabouts. So we could probably go back to the lines. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie, as you have your rep from NIS now, I am checking to find out, the government would have raised the minimum wage increase from 32 to 35,000, right? But the overseas pensioners, now their life certificates came 3 times and it went back. The last time they sent it back was to the consulate in August, but they did not get the increase. They only received the 32,000.
Could you do me a favor, lower the volume on your radio, please?
I don't have on my radio.
Something is feeding back.
It's a plane, it's flying over.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yes. I'm wondering how soon, because I checked to find out whether they didn't pay the increase and whether they were going to pay it, and because the number of times that these certificates were sent back because the postal system wasn't working. I want to know if she can shed some light how soon they're going to do that increase, that from 32 to 35, because the person did send in certificates in August, but they're saying when they do the next arrears.
She has the NIS number.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Do you have the NIS number?
Yes, I have them here. There are 2. Can I give you? Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
A11.
Yes, go right ahead.
281458. The other one is
Hold on. You got that one there, Diane?
Let me go that over.
It's 11281458.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
A11281458.
Yeah, can I give you the other one?
Yeah, sure.
A6321319.
Repeat it again.
A632 1319. Yes, because 2 persons told me a different thing. One say I wouldn't get it till next year. One say when they're doing the next race. But the fact is that
when they're doing the next, we have to find out when they're running the next batch.
Okay.
Right? Let's definitely get it, but it's just that we do it in batches.
But not definitely this year.
I have to find out when they're running it. We have to confirm with the pensions officer when they would be doing the next batch.
Okay, because I'm the rep. I was just wondering rather, because sometimes they don't get you on the line.
I understand. Do you have an email address?
No.
Number?
Oh.
The number, telephone number?
You're the rep. You're the local rep.
Yeah. Well, I will listen out, or I will check with them before the end of the year, because I don't know if they have to get the next certificate. They would send it would be like in December.
You can give us your number. We can check on it and call you.
Yeah, 222-9193.
Hello, we can.
I didn't get that.
We could take your number.
222-9193.
Thank you very much, dear.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you very much, dear. And so the calls are coming in. Diane, there's somebody who's asking here, is there a website that you could check your contribution with NIS? Could you just repeat to us what are the procedures for that?
Okay, you visit the website. It's www dot, so it's three W's dot nis.org.gy. When you go on the website, you click on check my contribution. When you click on that, you see 4 questions, because if it's the first time you're doing it, you have to register.
Uh-huh. All right, and so there you have it, the www.nis.org.gy.
Yes,
Very good.
giving you a password to go onto the system. When you go on after that, you just use your own password.
Okay, well, we did answer that. So let me see if there's some other questions here that maybe there's online. Somebody asking about the squatters on the East Coast here. Good day. Could you please ask Ms. Baxter for the pensioner who live in overseas and cannot get to the consulate? She's saying that you have to send notarized original copy from the notary public. How can they send the life certificate if mail's not coming from Canada and New York? GPA or
They call
not?
consulate.
Pardon?
They can call. Let them call the consulate, and the consulate will scan it for them.
Right, and
You need to go to the notary public. Call the consulate. The consulate usually gets up on a.
right. So there are numbers for the
Yes,
consulate there, and it's very easy to get wherever you live in
and
here.
they.
Right. So I think that answers the question with regards to that.
Yes.
Let me see. I think
Go
there's
and
another.
send a copy of the advisory that I have for the consulate to you. I forward it to you.
All right, very good. I think there is 2 things here. I'm going to send this to myself and then send to Miss. Okay, I got Miss Baxter here. I sent something there to you, Miss Baxter. I think that number. Let me see. I'm going to send it to you here. I think that number is okay. All right. So in the meantime, let's go back to the lines again and see. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You are on air. Go right ahead.
Hey Leonard, here is I find a national insurance card here at Eccles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know someone named John L.J. Simmons.
That's a good question. You got to figure out some way of getting it down to NIS back again.
Yeah, I have a
We
number here
have
for the insurance. The national insurance number is A1989507.
Oh, the person can you can bring it down to us, and we'll put it on our Facebook page, because
Okay,
that's what we've decided to do with some ID cards that we have here as well. We have about 8 ID cards that person would have left, so we want to
okay,
put it on the Facebook page so
yeah,
that persons can upload it. So we'll put that as well on the Facebook page.
okay. So
Somebody,
I can send this on your WhatsApp. You have a WhatsApp? How it works?
yes, you have to get a physical card, because when the person wants to uplift it, they will have to collect it
Oh,
from us. So
right.
anybody coming down, just address it to the PRO
Yeah.
NIS, and I'll get it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, dear sir. And
You're
you,
welcome.
yes, and you are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here. We have NIS. It's Diane Lewis Baxter online here, the Public Relations Officer of NIS. We're dealing with NIS issues today. Any complaints, any queries, or anything? Diane is the one that you should be talking to, and we have learned a lot over the last couple of minutes or so. How long more do you have with us, Diane?
A few minutes.
All right, a few minutes. It's good that we have you here too, and we got to try to do this a little more. You and I have a weekly
Yeah.
date, so it's a good thing. So in the meantime, we take some calls very quickly. I mean, many persons would have been wanting to touch base with you. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm calling. I am 61 plus, right?
61 plus.
Right. I made 370 contributions, which I'm not qualified because I didn't pay up, so I wasn't working or whatever. But I ended up now. I am working. I could still continue paying my NIS to reach 750, although I passed 61, 68.
No, no, no. You pay up to 860.
So you don't pay
But
any
you're
more.
working. You said you're working with someone. They will pay for you. They wouldn't deduct anything. They have to pay for you to cover you for industrial benefit, just in case anything happens to you on the job.
Okay, but I can't reach the 750 anymore. That is out.
No, no. But what you'll be eligible for is spectacles and dental care, so you can claim for that if you have need of those things. Spectacles
Okay.
or anything to do with dental care.
Okay, thanks a lot, right?
Thank you very much. And so what has been coming out is very, very important because what Diana just said there, spectacles and dental care. and there are some other benefits, I think, from the hospitals and so on that you could get. It's very important that you pay your NIS contributions and ensure that you get your employer to always check. Do not wait until you finish and assume that your employer is checking. You should be checking also, because you don't want, some employers, some of them not very honest, and that's the reality. And talking about that, Diane, could we have an idea how are we making out with the court cases with some of these employers? Because we got to take a couple of the more of them to court. They've been doing some wrong things. A lot of complaints coming in, especially with security companies. How are you guys making out with that?
Okay, well, as you know, a legal advisor, and she would, along with the inspectors who have been identified as prosecutors, they will handle those matters. And most of the cases we've been making headway with. We still have a few cases outstanding in the courts, but we're making progress. But like you rightly said, we have, most of those cases would be for security companies. And we want to encourage, persons to, especially employees, not to wait until they would have left an employer, but to come and just let us know, or just to call and say who you are. Just state, I'm working with this company and they're not paying for their employees, and an inspector will act on that.
Yes, thank you very much. And so, just I know that you got to go, Diane, but in closing, could you give us a couple of numbers, or maybe you'd want to tell remind the people some of the things, the housekeeping things that they would have to do just in order to engage NIS, because there's a way how to do it. It's not because you pick up the phone, and so there's an overwhelming number of persons who concentrate, and especially the Georgetown area. But there also, NIS has branches in the outlying areas in Berbice and Esquimalt and so on. Maybe you would want to tell us a
Yes,
little about that and
that's
some
very,
advice.
yes, definitely. We want to encourage persons not to come to Georgetown if you don't have to. We have offices in the Berbice area. We have Mycone. Starting from Mycone, we have Fort Wellington, Port Morant, we have New Amsterdam, we have Leonard, we have Klein. And so you don't have to, if you're living at Leonard, you don't have to come all the way to Georgetown to look after your matter. The office there can deal with that. And those offices, they process all the short-term claims, right? In terms of the pensions are processed in Georgetown, but it is facilitated through the local offices. And so you don't have to bring your documents all the way to Georgetown. You drop it to the local office, they will send it to Georgetown. Georgetown process, the assistant comes back, picks it up back, and take it. You don't have to come to uplift your book. And so we want to encourage persons to utilize the services of the local office. Even if you go to the office and you think you're not satisfied, you're having some sort of a challenge, there is a procedure for that as well. Ask to see the manager, who's the person in charge, right? And give that manager the opportunity to solve your matter. That is what I want to say. I want to encourage persons to ensure when they're calling that they have their NIS numbers ready at hand. Ensure that they quote a contact number on all of their documents when they're submitting it. So don't just in the box and not state a number or contact information, but we're encouraging them to do that. We want to encourage our pensioners to do the same thing, because we don't want to have them running and coming back and forth. If we have that contact number, we can always call to see how we can rectify whatever the problem might be.
Thank you very much for that. Somebody's asking here just before you go, Diane. I lost my NIS card about 20 years ago. How can I get it back? I work with a body workshop.
Okay, that's simple. It sounds like a Georgetown case. So it's at the Camp and Ben Street office. You can get a replacement. It's $200 and it takes about 15 minutes.
Thank you very much for that. And so there you have it. Diane, as always, what Kaieteur News, Kaieteur Radio would be doing is inviting you back. You could just give me a call whenever. I know that you're very, very busy. You're all over the place here. Just come. Just text me in the morning and say that you want to be on, and I'm going to accommodate it. This is what we'll be doing here. So thank you very much for that. Any parting words here?
Well, at NIS, we just want to let persons know that we really want to help them, and we want to encourage them to also cooperate with us. We want to encourage the employers to ensure that they uplift. This is very important. They would usually submit claims using what we call employers, and we want to encourage those employers to ensure that they come back as quickly as possible to uplift their ledgers. Why? Let's say a claim comes into the system ledger and it has a query. NIS will put that claim back in the ledger and wait for the employer to come and uplift the ledger. But if the employer takes a month to come, that person's claim would be lying in that book. What we've started doing is calling up the employers. And so, again, what we want to encourage employers to do is to ensure that they state a contact number or email address on their ledgers. And so that's my closing words.
So thank you very much there, Diane Lewis Baxter. She is the Public Relations Officer of the National Insurance Scheme. And so you could also check your NIS contribution. It's very, very easy. You just go on to www.nis.org.gy and you follow the check my contributions here and it tells you how to do it. Diane, you want to say something?
Yes. Yes. No.
Okay.
Have a good afternoon. Bye.
Thank you very much, dear. So it was a very engaging afternoon. I want to say goodbye to Diane, dear, and the good folks down at NIS. Sometimes we get very upset with them, but guess what? It is a big challenge. We're trying to get it work, and the good thing about it is that NIS is engaging with us and the people, and so we get in very clear pictures how we could, deal with these issues. Many persons, thousands of persons, would be looking to NIS because it's becoming more and more on the spotlight, especially with the pandemic and people becoming very serious about what is happening to them when they reach that age in which they want to benefit from pensions, from their NIS medical benefits. If you need the spectacles, if you get older like myself, you need the spectacles and so on. And so that is where we are at. We finished with NIS today. Diane is going to be back sometime or the other, and we're going to continue talking to our experts wherever they are to get answers on these big issues, big ticket issues, the bread and butter issues when it comes to how we live our life in Guyana. And so let me see what is happening. Another thing, Leonard, those who have made NIS contribution are eligible for eye care and dental care, either free or a fraction. What about the women who never work because they stay at home to take care of the family needs? Don't you think they deserve some kind of health care benefits from the government? Of course, and I think somewhere along the line the system would have to start checking the family members who would have been contributing. Could our system afford it at this point in time? If you look at America, it's a big issue when it comes to health care, Medicare and Medicaid and all those kind of things there, because it's a big money issue for the people. Free hospital bills, free medical, free assistance, public assistance, and so on. It's a big ticket issue, and could the state always afford it? Well, they've been cutting it, and it's always an elections issue there. So we have to continue talking about it and make sure that when we have our money that we're getting from oil and so whatever it is, that we could probably see how we could improve it for especially those stay-at-home folks. It's not just about husbands anymore, it's about wives also. It's not about wives. So you get a point what I'm saying there. We have to continuously talk about that. In the meantime, it is the Wake Up Guyana show. It was a very engaging time with Diane Lewis Baxter and the folks there at NIS. We are going to open the lines to talk about any and everything in Guyana right now. 226-7453. Let's get those messages on the 6222222. So it's 226-7453. The good folks at Albion are saying good afternoon, Leonard. We could hear you all the way in the Albion area. I want to say good day to the Albion folks there and the rest of the people down in Berbice, Blackbush Polder, wherever you are. I want to say good day to you. If I've forgotten you or we don't have the time to mention you, we have you in our thoughts, and the good people of Guyana have you in their thoughts as well. Be safe, drive safely on the road. I'm going to have a date after this. I have a date with the little one, her birthday today. Happy birthday, little Sierra. Whatever it is that you're doing, I'm going to be seeing you in a short while. In the meantime, let's go back to the lines. Good afternoon, caller, you on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. You were on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
I was trying to get you for the past 10 minutes. I can't get you concerning the NIS.
Yes.
And I can't get you because I was wanted to clear up some things with the female, the woman on the line.
Yes, the PRO, anyway, yes, go ahead.
I could just ask you, hey what, for many years ago, since I was about 20 years old, I was working with a company in Essequibo. So I was paying through the company, the NIS. So I worked with them like about a year and a half. I was paying them. Then I finished. I stopped working with the company. A couple of years after I came to Tong, and I started working in Tong. I was working with another insurance company, insurance broker in Tong. And I started paying again through the company. I paid like about for 8 months to 10 months. And then I end up leave the company, and I self-employed since from then. So I'm still self-employed up to now, but I never checked like how much contribution I made. I don't know. I never checked. So I was wondering if I could start payback from then, or if I have to do a separate self-employed payment now to the NIS.
But that's a good question. I think we'd have to push. Maybe what you could do is call that number. I did call out a number there. Maybe if you call that number, maybe you could put some questions to them and see. You want back the number? You want me to give it back to you?
Yeah, sure.
6400
6400
639.
639.
And they could probably help you there. And for all those folks that has been calling in, I think NIS is committed to calling you back with regards to those questions that you would have had for them. They're checking and they're going to call you back. So you look out for those calls. Any other questions, sir?
Not really. I just want to clear up this same one thing with the NIS. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Bye-bye. So it is the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. We also coming to you live stream on Kaieteur Radio or on YouTube Kaieteur Radio live stream. So there you have it. You could look back at the show after that. We have roughly about 30 minutes left, and we want to hit those lines again to bring you what the people of Guyana are saying. What is it that concerns them? It is your program. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. Raj, could we go to another caller there? Good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go right ahead.
Leonard, Gildarie?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Okay, we trying to get you all the time when the NIS...
Oh, my.
Hold on a while, let my husband talk to you. How long we listen to your program?
Yes, well, lower the volume on the radio for me, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lower the volume on your radio. Explain.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
We were trying to get upon the NS program with the Guyana, and
yes,
I get a problem from since I work at Rosal Estate, and I get transferred to Ogle Head Office. I get pension in 2015. Now when I go and look at my contribution, then fine up to 1969 to 1984. They get 1989 to 1998, and I find a 14-year contribution. I've been to Miss Baxter one time, and she sent me to a person downstairs. Then tell me I make an appeal. I appeal, and every time I go in, they tell me that they appeal in 2018. When I appeal, when I go find out, they say that the officer still looking into it. So I still want to know what's going on.
All right, I give you that number there. Call that number there, 6400-639. Call them and start engaging them right away.
Hold on, give me the number back.
6400.
Hello?
Yes.
The number is?
6400.
6400, yeah.
639.
639, yeah.
Yeah, you call that. That's the NIS number. That's the number. It's a cell number. And baby, if you don't have credit, tell them call you back.
Okay, 6400
639. Yes,
okay,
and you could probably ask them what's the status and ask them to check into it and keep calling. Keep that number very close to you.
Okay, thank you so much, and you have a good day.
You too, ma'am. All the best. This from Barbies you guys are calling from? I think so. I think she would have gone there. So wherever you guys have been joining us from, thank you very much for that. WR Riaz in the house. So let's go very quickly. Eligibility for mortgage interest relief now limited 1,000 loans up to $30 million. 30 million. So if you want to claim back on the mortgage interest, you could claim back if you've taken mortgages up to $30 million. This is on the GRA. And this is a very good thing. You could remember, as part of the relief to poor people, if you'd taken mortgages, you could have gone to the GRA and you could claim it back, because those interests would be coming out of your money that you're paying, and they say that you could claim it back. So what they're saying, it's no longer 10 million, 12 million or so if you're taking a mortgage for that amount. And if you're taking a mortgage up to $30 million, you could apply to have those relief be applied to your taxes and so on. And so you could get it back, and you could see that money ending up in your pockets. It is a good thing. It's part of the measures that government has introduced. The other thing is, I'm glad that let me see. This is somebody who's complaining now. They're widening the bridge on the Mandela back road just south of the Lepentance police station. They're using round wooden logs across instead of the concrete, which seems wrong, as constant weight would crack the logs over time. You can check and get some advice. This is if this is right, and this is coming from a concerned citizen. So I'm going to send this right away to our folks and let them get cracking on it. And this, okay, let me see. 1 second before I go on. What is the latest in the meantime the WRE has? Are you very happy? I see GT&T is committed to really improving the service. What are your thoughts about that?
Competition is always good, all right? And there's a clear evidence of that, that all of a sudden, after a couple of days ago, we heard of a competitor talk about 5G. We've seen GT&T said that they will be more competitive, which is good. I welcome that, because it means that the customers and the people at large have options, wider options, different pricing, and it's a level playing field. So for GT&T to stay in the market, because a lot of people will just like to just pack up and leave from GT&T completely. But it's a level playing field, and I think that they know, if they didn't know, well, now they know that competition is real. They will have to step up. And, from some people, they have the technology to step up, but I don't know what was keeping them back. Overall, I think with the liberalization of the telecoms sector, and we've noticed it's moving at a fast pace. 1 day ago, it was announced, less than 24 hours, licenses were starting to issued, if that's the right, is it a license?
It's some kind, yeah.
It's some form of a license, yes.
Right, but I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's always good to have more than one player. When you have a monopoly, the people could do you anything. And I see some people are a little worried that it says, a couple of them will gang up and you raise the rates and so on. This is competition. Nobody wants to have the kind of courses that was happening that you have, GT&T there. And let us get it very, very clear. This is not an attack. This is not an attack. This is a protection of your rights that you're talking, that we as a people of Guyana deserve so much more.
We deserve it altogether, and with the fast pace of society today, and I say fast pace because everything surrounds right here. Can you imagine your life without one of this right now, Gildarie? As in a simple cell phone. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine life without that? I mean, I went to school, I didn't have a cell phone. But if I'd misbehaved, my mom used to know already before I reach home. It's amazing. Today, the kids have a cell phone, not hating at the kids. But my simple point is that technology is in the powers of our hands. Let us not abuse it. Let us use it to its best ability. And we need data. We need cheap data. We need reliable data. We need data that we can depend on at the end of the day. Because today the world is looking at us. Right now on Wake Up Guyana, the world, they're looking at us not only their smart TV. I have some family send me pictures of their big screen TV setup at home, and they're looking, they're there.
No, if you believe, let me tell you this. This whole world, and I'm smiling here because I'm thinking back in my days, waking up to go to school, right?
Yeah,
used to get up. when I started Queen's College, they bring in these big bosses. I think it was a Russian that gave it to us or somebody. I think they called it Sanos boss or something, whatever. In any case, you used to gotta get up in the morning very early because of traffic and you get the transportation. There weren't that many minibuses at that time. And coming to work, coming to thing, you gotta make sure that you're out on the road very early to catch it, in order for you to go down to Georgetown. And nowadays, the kids are waking up for 9 o'clock, about 5 to 9. Because remember, it's not video. So there's some, when you say Zoom classes, the kids are probably not, they're not doing video sometimes. The teacher, you're just hearing the teacher voice. So you could very well have a kid. You could very well have a kid, a student there, that's probably not dressed properly. Probably didn't brush their teeth. They probably didn't take a shower. And they're having classes. I mean, back in my days, you better get short and pants at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever it is. You're out there saying the prayers, hands up, hands down. And you march and you go up to class and you're sweaty by the time you reach in.
I know, it's the world moves at a fast pace.
So some of those things freak me out when I see kids, I'm watching them and I'm saying, oh my, back in my days, I'm not sure. I think I'm fortunate to have gone through the rigors of being in school, going through those disciplines.
The kids will go back to school.
But I guess I'm from the old school. I like to see things.
I would like to see the kids back in school, no doubt. But this liberalization of the telecommunications sector, of which we see is moving at a very fast pace. Well, technology moves fast. So, Prime Minister, with his responsibilities, one day, second day, I saw Digicel, I saw E-Networks, I saw GT&T collecting license. I was waiting to see somebody else getting a license, man. Let
me see what happened.
I want somebody else get a license, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But let me tell you this, it is good. It is good. And let me tell you, Vishuk and the Puris and the Continental guys and everybody, these guys are aggressive.
Oh, yes.
And you talk about Digicel just run into it and says, yes, they've been planning to drop a submarine cable here too. And so what you're going to have, if you have about 3 or 4 submarines, yes, we have a population just about 700,000 to 800,000.
Talking about Digicel though, did you ever hear that Digicel one time wanted to leave the market?
I'm not sure if they wanted to leave. I know they've had some issues and some challenges. But guess what? I've been with them. The service, I think in 90-something% of the time is up. There's sometimes you say
it looks like I'm the only one faithful GT&T person.
I've
never switched.
I like
the reason
GT&T,
why I've never switched to GT&T. I had a friend. I've met multiple people 10 years after return to Guyana, and they just randomly dial my number. Oh, we get the same number.
No, I like GT&T. Get it very clear. I love GT&T. I like Donald Trump. He's the president of the United States. But Donald Trump is an idiot. Donald Trump took off his mask and he endangered the people around him. So I like Donald Trump. I like GT&T too. But your service is lousy and you need to do better with the customer service. Let's get it right there. There's another call online there, Raj. Good afternoon, calling on the air. Yes, good afternoon, calling on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Gildarie, was trying to call you a couple of times. I'm actually a racist person.
You're a racist person?
Yes, I'm racial. I want to know. I saw people was bigging up and praising the One Guyana show. So I want to know how the One Guyana show would help me to stop being racial. When I go down the road and I've been stopped by a policeman, and while I stop for an offense, the police stop a next vehicle committing the same offense, but because the man is a black person, he allowed to go away. But because I'm an Indian, I will have to go to the station and either get harassed, pay a bribe, or pay a fine. So tell me how a One Guyana show, could help me to stop being when these things are happening to people, when people at number 5 village blocking the road, beating up Indian and robbing them, how that would help. I would like to see that when people do things, you must measure your success. You don't just do things today and you walk away from it and you never check to see how much success you gain from what you did.
All right, we're going to answer this two ways. We're going to deal with this question. It's a very good question. I allowed it to go because, for a long time, people have been dealing with this issue as a taboo issue. And this show here, this Wake Up Guyana show, I don't have any horse in the race. We don't have any political parties or anything. We got to deal with these issues here once and for all. So this is how we can do it. What did you do when you saw that policeman do that? Did you try to reach somebody at the station, or did you?
Yes. I went out and meet that. And it happens to me more than one occasion, and I'm seeing this. This is not about just a particular story about the policeman. I'm telling you about the incident that's happening on a daily basis.
Right.
Ethnic group. You understand? So I want to know how these things, like how they get a couple of people on a stage singing, how it would be able to convince a man like me who facing with these things of people.
Well, the good thing, it's a good question. I have Riaz here who was part of that show, and maybe he's going to put in his 2 cents. But let me tell you something. I talked to a man this morning. He wanted some help, and I advised him, and I showed him. I advised him what to do. And he says, something, I wasn't too happy with what you advised me. I said, what would you prefer, that you sit on your hands and do nothing, or make an attempt to change that situation? And he says, you have a point. My point, what I just said to you there, is for us to start, we have to start somewhere. You might not see it right away, but people start, if it is that you can uplift somebody, even if you do it to one person, it is a start somewhere. And that's the way that I look at life. And I asked Riaz maybe to comment on what the gentleman said.
Let me just see if I can understand what you say. You're saying that they make a start by using the one guy on the show to see if they could change the situation. That I don't believe that is a thing to change the situation. The situation got to change from dealing with these problems that people are facing on a daily basis. I want to make one quick point more before I leave, right? The commissioner of police, not the commissioner of police, the minister of security, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that should be given to a senior policeman, like who uses to be a commissioner of police. You can't give a man a job to do that has no idea about anything, about the things that he's managing over. If you understand what I'm saying. You cannot give a man a job. You have
not necessarily. I might want to disagree with you, and I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. Maybe after you would have had thing, and I'm going to ask Riaz to probably address what you're saying there, because you had ministers who are not necessarily technical officers in that area there, but they're good managers, good administrators. So you can have somebody there, but there are going to be an exception because you could very well get it wrong. You put somebody there who may not have the will. Because if you have good people in place and you could able to motivate those persons, those technical officers, it could get us somewhere. So I might not necessarily agree, but you do have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you very much, man.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Riaz.
Yeah, let me see if I could answer that quick to that gentleman as it is. Now, he raised 2 points. He's given an example of a black brother being stopped by a police and an Indian being stopped by a police, and one being harassed and one not being harassed, and then bring one Guyana in. That's a whole different ball game, sir. I understand your pain. I don't know what was the incident with you or whoever officer, so I can't say much on that. But let us not always try to jump to those conclusions. We didn't know what that first driver was stopped for. I don't know, so I wouldn't want to pronounce on that. But you can bring that in to make a reference to the One Guyana concert. Now, if, before I even go to the next page, let's use this one simple term. I've heard this since growing up as a child. One dirty buildam. And if we can't understand that a pyramid started like this before it gets up, if we all don't try to foster harmony and bring people together through whatever way we can, through culture, through music, through working out, working in an environment, then we're not going to be the one individual who would like to endorse a forum like that. Now, you had comedy on that show was talking about racial issues that we had, but at the end of the day, the comedians of Jumpy Jones, Radhika, and Chinese Man explained the togetherness. How can we do that? Music brings us together. Cricket brings us together. We may have differences at the end of the day, but if we could start by small and simple platform. As much as persons may want to think that that platform did not bring us together, I beg to differ, because it brought...
Yeah, this is a start. I think there's a bottom line.
For instance, it brought me to some people who I haven't seen in a while. So here what happened. Me, you could be fighting on social media, but when we meet up in person, we share a different view. You know, man, you may wrong and I may right. So it brings people together. And this is what we need to understand. It must start from storming. It wouldn't stop killing. It wouldn't stop robbers from robbing. I know this. It wouldn't stop some people from making derogatory comments on Facebook. But it gives that bunch of people who are there as an ambassador like myself that will speak against racism. And with my voice and everyone else's voice, I think we have an audience. And it is our way of imploring the togetherness. It can't solve overnight. I don't see racism solving overnight. If someone tell me that it's going to solve tomorrow morning, I'll tell them they lie.
Thank you very much for that. And Karen Smith has summed it up very well here. This is what Karen Smith, and she is one of our viewers on the Facebook. She says, "Caller, no one thing is the answer. Many things will get us results. More important is for us to realize that positive changes start with each one of us.
Exactly.
We are the change. Don't give up.
Exactly.
Just start." Thank you very much.
I will echo the same. We all could make the change. If all of us, look, listen to this example. If all of us were sitting and said, you know what, man, let GT&T operate however they want to operate, we're going to accept it. We ain't going to fight if I get nothing else.
But to come back to that caller there, I think I feel you too, because when you sit in there and you see things like that, it plants a seed in your mind. But we got to be very open, because like I said before, bottom line is every citizen has a voice. They have a voice in this country. And what you got to do is start. When you see things, do not allow it to fester, because people are going to start thinking that that's the norm, and they're going to try to bully you. You start opening up your mouth. You walk to the station and you go into the station. I want to see the supervisor. And if the supervisor or whoever's in charge there does not give you that thing, there's the police complaints authority. I think there's a justice there, William Ramlal. Start taking them to task. Pick up the phone, call them. You spoke to Gildarie or you spoke to Kaieteur Radio, and they said for you to give them a call. And I think these are the things we start putting pressure on them. People don't like being skinned up. And if you understand, Guyana's term, when you start skinning up people, things are going to change and change positively. But it has to start one step at a time, one baby step at a time. Very quickly, I think we're coming on. We got about 10 minutes with the thereabouts. And do we have a caller in there, Raj? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Good afternoon, caller. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. I happen lucky to get you back to you, because I hear, people were making come. I happen to get robbed the very first protest before this one, when the bad settlement protest at Garden Tree. We get robbed at number 5. So when I say things, I'm saying it based upon things that I experienced. It's
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily that I'm racist or that I'm racial, but I just make that...
No, I get your point. I understand.
Because I am saying to what we need to do is like, there's a barrel to fill with water. And then if you want to fill the barrel with water, you got to find a pipe and you got to get water to put in the barrel. You can't start with a whole different story to fill the barrel. The story don't fill barrel with water. So I am using a reference to say, making a reference to say why and how we should. I listened to your program. I was listening to your program, and I was to ask you, how you see the government operating since the takeover office? Did it change anything?
I'm going to answer that. That's a very fair question, and as commentators, as people here, we should be putting ourselves under the spotlight and under the pressure. So that's a very fair question.
Yeah, nothing doesn't change. One of the things that I listen to is that people keep calling and complaining about NIS, and they would be directed back to the manager. The manager, I have good experience with NIS. The manager, the people who works at NIS dwell on a daily basis. Glenlal and you dwell on a daily basis. How are you call Glenlal to tell Glenlal about you? When you go sit down and you go say, man, well, me and you, thing, and you understand what I'm saying? You got to get some kind of system in place to deal with these things.
Well, you see, one of the things, and you're raising some very good points. You see, one of the things what we got to do is start understanding. I think this is where it starts. We got to start understanding our rights. If we don't start understanding the rights, we're not going to be able to do anything. Like one of the big things that really changed the way that we behave right now is knowing that the camera is always rolling, that somebody's going to be taking your photograph, somebody's going to be videoing you, and especially if you're a public official, you got to pretend that it's always happening, because in that way, if you're aware of it, we could start putting people on the spot. Policemen, they got to know that when they do things on the road, somebody's looking at them, somebody's paying attention. Let them understand it. If you get my point.
Yes, yeah.
I thank you very much for that.
man.
God bless
Yeah.
you. So in the meantime, it is the Wake Up Guyana show, and this is a show in which you understand. We try to teach you to make you aware of what the systems are, and you could be able to utilize those systems to get a better Guyana, because it's not about the government only. Somebody asked me about whether I think things have improved since this government has gone there. Well, let me put it this way. The government is dependent on the regulators, the regulatory system, the systems that are in place, the Public Utilities Commission there, the Environmental Protection Agency, the police, the prison officers. Those are several areas there. There are board of directors. And when you see the GGMC officials or the Gold Board officials and everybody that don't do the work, then they are part of the system, the barriers that puts the government at shame. What we're seeing is that those systems are still in place. They're changing it. They've changed the tender board. They've changed so many things. Several officers have been changed within the system at Lands and Survey, and you could go on and on and on. How long those systems don't work, or those people don't work, NIS is going to continue there, and it is going to be a pain, because we need to recognize that customer service is probably one of the biggest headaches. If people are being told that something is happening, wait another 3 months or so, they're not going to be calling Gildarie, but because the fact is they've been calling and nobody's answering them, they're going to come back and they're going to say, well, we don't know what's happening. Could you give me an ID? Well, I don't have access to NIS system, so I can't answer you. What I could do is try to facilitate bridging the gap within Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, and the NIS system there, and using the radio station here. And I think we're doing a decent job at making people aware that customer service is something that we need to improve, and improve it in a hurry. People are not happy, and we deserve so much more as a people. So I hope that in itself is where we are. Do we have time for another call there, Raj? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Do we have another one? Okay. In the meantime, let me read a couple of messages there before we say goodbye. Presently, I'm in tune with the program. I'm a concerned citizen of Tushan New Housing Scheme, and this is I received a GWI bill, which is very high. This is going on for the past 5 years. When you query it with the office, they're saying that is what you use. So honestly, I don't believe this, since my family is just 4 of us. Very often, they keep reminding me that they will cut me off if I don't pay. Can somebody assist address with this matter? Please bear in mind that the water that GWI provide is very low in quality. You should be raising this issue here with snapshots of whatever it is that your meter says, or whatever the bill says, to the Public Utilities Commission, and if you're not happy, you could take it up through there. That is if GWI does not answer your question. So you have some options there. Caller, listen to whoever it is. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for calling out the GT&T. Now they will get a run. They're promising to upgrade service. Promises a comfort to a fool. We're not taking the foolish promise anymore. Good afternoon. Okay. And so that person there, racism is very real. Oh my God, I work in an office. I'm the only one there, well, they use a word there, among the 25 others, none of them talking to me since those Henry boys were murdered. Taking a toll on me because I worked there for 16 years and never went through something like this. Is very sad. Racism. And I can't say to you all the words that this person would have said. I just stick it out there. I feel bad that I have to actually be reading a statement like this. This is not what this country is all about. We should be sitting here, and I should be playing some domino with every and all persons of whichever part of of the ethnic divide. And this should not even, I should not even be talking about ethnic divide here. We all Guyanese at the end of the day. If you get to the United States, you're all Guyanese. So get it right. When the companies come here and they're employing Guyanese, they're not employing an Indian Guyanese or a Negro Guyanese or an African Guyanese. Forgive me for even using those words. I take it back. We're all Guyanese at the end of the day. I don't want to even put those thoughts in your head. So let's get it right, all Guyanese.
Before you go, how is the start of the birthday party?
I have a date in a very short while, and you should not be asking. I'm going to be cutting a cake. I know it entails part of that.
That's part of the date.
That's part of the date.
How old is she? 12, 13?
She's 12.
She's 12. Happy birthday.
It's 1 year before the 13th year. So
you have a date.
Yeah, I've been having a date for the last couple of years. She looked forward to that, and I think when you reach my age in life, you start looking at
60.
things.
Yeah, no, 6 is a tough.
You start looking at these simple things as a joys in your life, and it's no longer about money or material things. It's about having a simple thing, because you realize very quickly they are going to be starting to live their own lives, and so I'm going to enjoy it as much as possible. They close the doors, by the way. They close the doors to the rooms. I got to be knocking if I want to enter now. What are you doing? I'm changing. Could you please wait? And those are the kind of things, and it kind of bothers me, because there was a time when you just couldn't just walk in.
Time changes.
Right. So it is. I must tell you that I'm trying to adjust to this new
changes.
Like pandemic. I'm trying to adjust to the new realities in life. But this is a Wake Up Guyana show, and we could talk anything. I think some people out there know more about Riaz and Gildarie and Raj. Everybody knows about Raj. Raj fell asleep a couple of weeks back. You knew that, right? So we're trying to remind them pretty often.
What's her name? Claire is her name, right?
Claire? Oh, Sierra.
Sierra.
Sierra, baby. That's
so happy Sierra. Happy birthday, Sierra. Your daddy is going to be home shortly. Don't worry.
Thank you very much for that. And so it has come down to that time where we say goodbye. I want to take some time off this week, but you guys are not allowing us to go.
Take Saturday. Take Saturday. And take Sunday while you're at it as well.
No, I have to work on Sunday. I'm on leave and I have to work, you got to understand this thing.
Mr. Glenn Lowell, the man is on leave and he's working as well.
It is a duty. Right. We have duties here. So it is time to wind up. It has been a very engaging day. The Wake Up Guyana show. Your host Leonard Gildarie would have been coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio. It's 99.1 and 99.5 FM. And if you've missed the show, you could get us back on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So until then, thank you very much to Raj and WR Riaz, and of course to the most important people, our viewers, our listeners right across this beautiful land, and wherever you would have been joining us from overseas. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as always. Have a pleasant, wonderful rest of the day until we meet again tomorrow.
Tropical delight, the flavor tasting right, pure taste and pure delight. Orange apple cranberry, fruit punch mango, yes sir, we high in energy. Jumping up every day, and I jumping up every night. I think it's back and it's pure taste, pure delight. Energy to unload, behind a truck down the road, the taste going to explode. Tropical delight,
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.